everybody's new favorite government department put out a tweet this morning, I think it was this morning, saying that FEMA last week sent another $59 million to luxury New York hotels for migrants. I mean, it sounds probable, but I haven't seen the evidence. It was just a tweet from Elon Musk. I do want to caution people to be careful about believing things just because it appeals to your bias. I mean, that statement is likely true, but I would have loved to have seen some more documentation on it. Elon Musk is just spitting out kind of a flurry of tweets. But I came back up here to the Roosevelt Hotel to check it out. I've been learning kind of a lot about this hotel. You know, it was like a crown jewel of New York. The thing is over 100 years old. And I mean, it's named after Teddy Roosevelt, and it was built as part of the development of Grand Central Station. And I mean, you know, the idea was, I didn't think you had planes back then, or at least not too many people using them. And the idea was everybody would come into New York City through this, you know, massive world-beating travel hub and stay at this awesome hotel. But now it's ground down into a turd, and they're housing migrants in there. Now, first of all, let's just get one thing straight. It's not about being upset that they're housing migrants in there. That is upsetting on one level. That's a separate matter we can talk about. Look at what has happened to this neighborhood in the 4 years since this hotel has become a migrant shelter. I mean, there were businesses in all of these retail, you know, those were all businesses when this started, and now they're out. That says grand opening, but I'm not sure if it's serious. So I learned a couple things about this hotel. We'll talk about it. But first, let's just see, you know, what the hell is going on. Obviously, the hotel is still operating, so the notion that money has been sent, it makes sense. I mean, when I say be cautious about believing these, any kind of statement just because it appeals to your bias, I'm thinking not necessarily about Elon Musk. I mean, he's a fairly, I guess depending on the type of information, he's a fairly reliable source. We still have, you know, these sketchy people hanging out here, selling illegal food. Like, so what the hell is going on? What is this school bus doing? Are there kids on here? There's school buses around here all the time. There's people selling illegal food still. Like, who is this guy? Why is he allowed to be selling food here? Who are all these people? They look like criminals to me. Very sketchy. And we know we have the army inside this building doing something. You know, they're all connected on a network of cell phones here that we've paid for. Maybe through USAID. I don't know. So part of the problem with the USAID reporting, you know, there was that very good, still is, that very good Twitter person, Data Republican, who is like a database expert, obviously. But I think one problem is a lot of people are just searching that database. Like I saw there's somebody who shares my dislike for General Flynn and just searched that database and found one of the General Flynn charities listed there, and, you know, immediately jumped to the conclusion that Flynn was getting USAID money. But I did not see that evidence there. I mean, it's possible that he is, but that was just the regular 990 from the IRS that was searching. I didn't see any of the people making these allegations actually linking it to USAID. So I don't know if FEMA has sent $59 million this week or not. Seems like they would have. My bigger question is, why, if we are cracking down on migrants, are they still allowing people to sell illegal food over here? And obviously there's something continuing to go on here at the you know, these are sketchy gang members hanging out here doing something with the cell phones and the illegal food. That seems quite clear. So if I can see that, why can't the cops? And where is Kristi Noem? It was pretty bad that we had leaks, right, from the FBI. So why would you do that? I mean, if you're a federal agent going to do a raid and the people you're raiding get tipped off, isn't that dangerous? Can't somebody get killed over that? I mean, this is not a game, you know? It's amazing the carelessness and the irresponsibility displayed by certain people. So anyway, this Roosevelt Hotel, see, the thing that also makes me very curious about it is that the people who are defending whatever is going on at this hotel, they're going to tell you like, oh, you know, we need to help these people and this is like a humanitarian something or other. It's definitely not. This is a cash play. Because you see, this hotel, the Roosevelt Hotel, it's an interesting story. If we start looking at the history, even just the recent history, I was looking at this article here from the New York Post, which is just from 4 or 5 years ago. It's talking about developers eyeballing the coveted Roosevelt Hotel site. Look, from October 2020. Look at that thing on the floor. Oh yeah, J-Lo was in a movie that they made here, Made in America. She could shoot somebody maybe. But anyway, this thing is talking about how, you know, it changed hands a bunch of times. And yeah, developers were drooling when they said they were going to go out of business because obviously somebody could take this thing over. It's in this Vanderbilt corridor rezoning area. I don't know what the implications of this are, but they're saying that a new building in this corridor may be taller and have much more floor area than an existing one, subject to city approval. I don't know why that would make this appealing, but they do go on to mention that Pakistani International Airlines paid off all the debt on this right before it sort of went out of business, or didn't go out of business so much as they just said, oh, during COVID, it's just dramatically under-occupied, so it's losing a ton of money, and we want to sell it or do whatever. I don't know much about Pakistani International Airlines. If I had to guess, it's probably owned by the country of Pakistan. So what are the implications of that, of a country owning this and, you know, what they're doing with debt? Real estate people and financial people will know better than me. But I see this thing across the street, and I see this over here, and we hear about all these phenomenal deals being made by Eric Adams and his lawyer joining the board of directors of a Turkish ride-sharing app. I just feel like there's deals here that we don't yet know about. And so anyway, if everybody is eyeballing this hotel, the argument in that article was between people who wanted to buy it and turn it back into a nice hotel, and other people who said, no, we're going to reconfigure it as an office tower. That's what the Pakistani International Airlines were talking about doing. And then they get into some debate between New York real estate experts about whether the tourist industry or the office industry is going to come back first. You know, these are people who are looking at 20-year investments or whatever. I mean, if I had to guess, and again, tons of details that I don't know, and I'm not an expert in real estate, and I'm not an expert at doing crooked, screwy deals, but it just seems like, you know, get somebody to pay off the debt. Now the building is free and clear. Make some kind of deal with the city to get a ton of money and blow the place out without having to renovate it and, you know, rent it like crazy. Then, after you kick out all the migrants and get all the money from the city, just gut renovate the place and do whatever it is you're going to do with it, whether it's offices or apartments. But somebody is, or you know, a hotel, somebody's making a ton of dough from that. And so, who is USAID sending the money to? Is it Pakistani International Airlines? We gotta learn more about what's going on with that deal there. Speaking of Eric Adams, I found out something, I think. This was kind of stupid of me, but then again, I haven't heard it from anybody else, and there's a million lawyers looking at it. I'm not a lawyer, but remember we had that, I didn't understand it because there was two cases, right? They had Eric Adams, and then another one showed up where it said Eric Adams sealed defendant. So I saw another document somewhere in there that said Eric Adams, also known as sealed defendant. So I don't know, maybe the sealed defendant was Eric Adams, and then when they unsealed the indictment, somehow the case still says sealed defendant. I don't know. Point is, there's a lot of confusing and tricky stuff with this legal business. And look, even when you talk to a lawyer, they could tell you something confidently and be completely wrong. Happens all the time. People are up in arms about this Rhode Island judge, issuing these orders that the Treasury can't do whatever. All these judges issuing all these orders. Well, they're lawyers, and they think they can do what it is that they're doing. Some lawyer will tell you, oh, they can't do this. I saw Sidney Powell had a tweet that the Rhode Island judge only has jurisdiction in Rhode Island. Now, I mean, I agree with that, but I'm sure somewhere in there, the judge is going to say that because this is a federal thing and Rhode Island is a state and this affects the people of Rhode Island, that they can go ahead and do whatever they want. But the point of the matter is, it's not about whether it's legal or not. I mean, they don't even really care about that at all. They just do whatever they come up with and then deal with the fallout later. If it takes you 2 years to sort out whatever kind of crap it is that, the judge can't do, at the end of 2 years, they'll say, yeah, the judge can't do that. But meanwhile, for 2 years, you've been enjoined from, or it's like Eric Adams raiding the weed stores, right? They shut them all down, stole the money and the weed, and then months later, a court said, oh, well, you can't do that. But guess what? All the people who got their money and weed stolen are still out of business. So that's what they're going for, and that's a huge component of lawfare. It's just the do whatever. That's why we've got Norm Eisen. See, I don't get it with Turley and these other. I keep coming back to Turley because I kind of respect him, and he's supposed to be this brilliant law genius, but he says some things that are amazingly naive to me. He's another one of these guys who he just thinks like, oh, this is shocking that there's no, cognizable legal theory in this Alvin Bragg case against Trump or whatever it is. But the point is, there doesn't need to be. They just get him in court, tied him up for months. Their goal there, of course, was to just make him look so bad by being in court that nobody's going to want to vote for him. And I mean, look, obviously they want to put him in jail, but they know that's unlikely to happen. And that's why they're like, I don't understand why. How can they do this? It's going to leave this sort of Damocles hanging over Trump. Well, obviously that's exactly what they want. So a lot of people have been asking me, hey, did the Walcott Hotel get money from USAID? It's hard to know because, yes, there are these good tools, governmentspending.org or whatever that is, and that database put together, or whatever it is, that search tool put together by the database person. It's a weird Amazon bike, isn't it? But the point is, I showed a little bit of this the other day with the 990. I guess that was on Twitter or X. If people aren't following on X, I really recommend that you do. I'm on there at JG_CSTT. But the point is, I spoke about this with Charles yesterday. It's a network, right? So just because it's like when you go on the internet, your computer is on a network. You're connected to the internet. You might not be looking at a particular website, but it is also on the internet, and it could send information to you, or you could get information from it, or a hacker out there on the internet could get to you without you knowing it. I mean, my point is, this is a vast network, and one of the number one ways they're disseminating money from something like this USAID or anything, you know, it goes from USAID to, let's say, the Brookings Institution. And then from there, you don't know where the Brookings Institution is spending it. Are they hiring George's asshole brother to monitor whoever is a threat to Benjamin Wittes and other people that I'm still not allowed to mention? I think they do. Now, this is interesting too. This has nothing to do with criminality, or at least I don't know if it does, but it's still the Bank of America Christmas Village in Bryant Park, which seems longer than usual to me. I don't remember this Christmas stuff staying here until February, but maybe I'm confused. I came through here before, and there was like a Garden of American Heroes snowman tribute that I thought was worth looking at. Oh man, can you imagine the arguments that are gonna come up when Trump starts to decide who, or whoever decides, is gonna be in the Garden of Heroes? This is not the best snowmen, but here, we have a better selection over here. I guess it seemed like there were people making them before. Maybe that was on their lunch break. But here you can see we've got kind of a gallery of snowmen. That's nice, right? Snow people, excuse me. We want to be gender neutral. We're a little bit toppled. That's a good one. They need a corn cob pipe and a carrot for a nose. There's a good one. I like that. Snowman. Gallery. All right, so we're deep into bonded link aggregator territory here. I just got a message from AT&T, but I believe the technology I have organized will supersede that message. We'll see. We'll find out soon. If I turn off, then we'll realize that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's really just crazy, all these people losing their minds over Elon Musk trying to prevent theft. I hope it's becoming obvious to everyone, and not just, you know, people who already knew it was stupid. Now, they don't want you taking any pictures, but how can they tell you that? They're in public here. This is a, they've never had this that I've seen before this year, ice bumper cars, or whatever that is. And then you got skating over there. I guess because Bill de Blasio kicked out the Trump ice skating rink, they need this ice skating rink now? I don't know. Clearly somebody is paying a lot for this. I think it's Bank of America. I don't know how we would be able to find out if FEMA sent more money to these migrant hotels. I mean, it's still operating, so chances are yes. But why has Eric Adams' NYPD not gone over there and said, hey, you're not allowed to sell food on the street out of a cooler? You need to have some kind of a sales license, right? These hot dog things, people selling stuff on the street have a vendor license of some kind. I guess if they were selling weed out of those coolers, Eric Adams would come steal it. Then the other thing is, somebody, the other day they said, you know, when they said that Norm Eisen lost his security clearance. I saw that Andrew Weissman was on that list as well. Then now today, somebody just said, ooh, Andrew Weissman might lose his security clearance. I don't know, did he lose it or not? That's what I mean. There's a lot of back and forth of maybe we don't know all the exact details. So, right, the person, this is what I was going to talk about. So somebody, a lot of people have been sending me this document from a person who filed a civilian criminal complaint, a private criminal complaint. Now, to be clear, as far as I'm able to tell, and again, I'm not an attorney, but that does exist in PA. Here someone sent me a clip of Norm Eisen bragging about getting an activist judge to temporarily rule against DOGE. So that's what I mean. You really don't know where this money is going. It goes from a nonprofit to a law firm to a think tank to something else is giving it money or whatever it is. Yeah, Norm Eisen is a big problem. I hope that they, bring that schmuck to justice. But this person, I don't know the person's name. It's been all over, and a lot of people are sending to me, and they're like, "Wow," because it's accusing Josh Shapiro of somehow like planning or being involved in the Trump assassination attempt. Pam says street vendors need to be licensed like everyone else. They also need to pay taxes, right? It's discrimination against citizens. That's exactly right. And these are people who are working hard. And it's like, oh, these are migrants are hardworking. No, they're not. They're showing up and they're just trying to make sandwiches. How is that advancing society? But anyway, this person filed some kind of a private criminal complaint. I looked it up. Pennsylvania code, the criminal code. There is a way to do it, but it only applies to misdemeanor crimes, and murder is a felony. So right away, that's going to fail. Secondarily, unlike the district attorney or the attorney general or something like that, filing a criminal complaint against someone, that's a law enforcement officer who, when they file a criminal complaint against you, you've been indicted and now you're going to court. But when you file one of these private criminal complaints in Pennsylvania, the first thing that happens is the district attorney has to decide if this is valid. I mean, any idiot can file a complaint. George's mentally ill moron brother is filing complaints all the time. And in fact, when he first started all this 8 years ago, he even came out and said, ooh, I'm acting as a citizen attorney general. And the judge had to tell him, yeah, that's not the way that works. You can't do that. So citizens can't, as much as I would like to be able to, citizens cannot really file criminal complaints. So I don't know what this person is talking about. I don't know what evidence they have. I saw that Ken Silva was interacting with them a little bit, and the person was refusing to give evidence. This is a cute little dog. Must be cold, being so tiny, wearing a sweater. Oh, sorry, the dog just had a little bit of business there. Point of the matter is, a lot of people saw that and just immediately became excited about it and think it's true. So I would be very skeptical, And I mean, look, it applies to anything that I say, anything that Elon Musk, anybody like that, even if it appeals to your bias and you really, really want it to be true, you should always be asking yourself, well, where is the evidence behind this? This is coming in quite quickly. Yeah, I mean, I still don't know what it is that they're building there across the street from the Roosevelt Hotel. But, I mean, I don't know. What do people think about that? Do we have any real estate geniuses in the audience who maybe I point out those details that you didn't know before and suddenly you go, oh, my God, if you had that set of circumstances, you could do X, Y, and Z. and bada bing, Bob's your uncle. I don't know. It just seems like a scam, you know? I can't quite put the details together. It's just very, very scammy over there. So I'm going to have to watch that video of Norm bragging about what he's doing with the judges. Oh, right. People are saying tuberculosis is everywhere now. I wonder if that's a side effect of the... Why is that happening? Do they know? Why? Oh, or maybe because we're bringing in people from other countries where they still have tuberculosis. It's funny, that's the second time I've seen that Fisker Ocean driving around just right now. I'm surprised the thing is running. You'd be crazy to buy one of those. So, now wait a minute, where am I here? 6th Avenue? I want to go back over to the Walcott. I mean, it definitely seems like something has changed, right? It seems like there's a lot less activity at these hotels, but I can't tell what that means in terms of money being sent there or not. So I was looking to try to find some sort of USAID connection to the Walcott Hotel, and I haven't been able to find that. I mean, if you put Walcott into Data Republican's website, I mean, it returns things, but nothing to do with the Walcott Hotel. Walcott other stuff, you know, in other states. But remember, it got all that money from the New York Department of Social Services, which was run by that woman, Molly Wausau Park, who was appointed by Eric Adams and sent $79 million to Neighborhood Association of Intercultural Affairs. That also does not appear as any kind of direct recipient of USAID. But how do we know USAID doesn't send money to something that goes to New York City and then that gets divided between Department of whatever? And, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's a very kind of convoluted mix of where does money go. Something just happened. Something weird happening to the sound. You know, I have this thing that uses ultrasound or something and ultraviolet light to clean a tooth retainer. And I happened to turn this whole system on in the apartment while that thing was, bzz, you know, doing its retainer cleaning thing. And it interferes. The retainer cleaner somehow interferes. So I don't know. It's difficult to understand what will and what will not disrupt this thing. But so far we're doing all right. Yeah, so we've got people in the FBI apparently raining on Kristi Noem's ICE parade. Seems like a serious crime. And that's the other thing, is that we've got this culture now of people who within the government feel like if they disagree with the president or whatever, that it's their right or their duty to, you know, be insubordinate. That's why they got to really get chubby, what's his name, Vindman. I mean, wasn't that terrible? That guy is such a fat jerk. That phone call that I had with him was sort of excellent because he is just such a sniveling, like, that guy must have gotten beaten up a lot in grade school, because what an annoying pain in the ass. And now his stupid twin brother, as if one of those idiots wasn't bad enough, he was there at the big party defending USAID. they're moving quickly, but it's really just still not quickly enough. Start arresting all these people. So, I don't know. Does anybody have any ideas how we could figure out if Neighborhood Association of Intercultural Affairs was getting money from USAID? It almost doesn't even matter. I mean, we know they're part of this whole big scheme. Trump said it in his interview with Professor Hulk. He said he's going to have Elon Musk look at the Department of Education and you're going to find the same thing. And that it's theft and fraud. Trump knows. It was also interesting to see, I don't know if people saw the other day, Charles Downs, who does a lot of reporting with Laura, and I ran into him in Washington, D.C. In the snow. Remember, he had no gloves on and everything. He ran into Elizabeth Warren and got a great question and cornered her on the money that she's getting from, I guess, Pfizer or, I don't know, some pharmaceutical company. And she was like, oh, look, I don't get any money from pharmaceutical companies. He just basically totally caught her in a lie. And then Joe Rogan was talking about it. So, I mean, it's safe to assume that when you get these videos that go to 2 million views and stuff like that, I think most people who are looking at political stuff on X are going to see that. And I just wonder, has Trump seen that video of me yelling at Norm? That would be quite satisfying to watch the president view that video. Now, so this is a sketch neighborhood as well. This is 31st Street. What a wreck it is right now. You know, I mean, if we brought in migrants from some country that built up this neighborhood and it was all new businesses run by, you know, these people. Let's see, where is it? Is it this way? Yeah, it's down over here, right? Yeah, it's between 5th and 6th. You know, if they'd been improving the neighborhoods and, you know, we were hearing stories already about great things happening, but it's not. We just got idiots riding the wrong way on electric vehicles, selling illegal food out of coolers on the street. Packing up loads of garbage. It's crazy. Look at that. That's the future of garbage. It's just more of it. Yeah, so anyway, Eric Adams was the sealed defendant, but now they've announced that his former aide, Mohammed Bahi, is... What's going on? Look at this guy. Mohammed Bahi, he's going to testify against Eric Adams. We haven't heard a lot about Eric Adams getting a pardon lately, have we? Seems like that's not going to happen. I hope. I always get confused when I'm looking for this place. It's 4 West, so it's just there, right by 5th Avenue. See, it keeps giving me these messages because it's working though. So it's interesting. I don't know who that guy is, whether he's a migrant or somebody who lives in New York, but they're so brazen. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Oh yeah, and I was over by this other hotel that we don't hear that much about. I forget what it's called. It used to be called the Stewart. Oh no, this is it right here. So wait a minute, I missed the Walcott. But here's the Stewart Hotel. Now what are they doing there? there's obviously still money coming. Because these guys are still cleaning up, and they're not just doing that for their health. Anybody freeze frame and see what that bill of goods says? Haha, that guy almost got hit by the stick. What you guys doing? Yeah, anybody who looks super nervous about what they're doing and has all these masks on and everything, it's always very questionable. So, see, what the hell is going on here at this hotel and who's running it? What has that lady got her hand up? So it seems like something's happening at this hotel. There's going to be money being given to them to do it, I would think. Let's go see what's shaking at the Walcott. See, we got these tags on. Some kind of operation. What's the matter? What's the problem? What's up? You trying to talk to me? What? Huh? Pa que lava? Speak English. I don't speak Spanish. No hablo español. You're in public. I'm recording what the fuck you idiots are doing. Say again, what?
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
Tell me what you guys are doing here. That's what happened.
Okay.
Mind your own fucking business. Criminals. There's obviously something going on over there that they're nervous about. You think you can stop me in the middle of the street in New York City and make demands of me in Spanish? Tell me not to record you when you're doing something? Who's paying for all that? We are. What is going on over there? Now wait a minute, look at this. Here's an Aston Martin. Oh, we got a ticket. Yeah, so there remains plenty of weird stuff going on that nobody wants to talk about. Remember, the Army didn't want to talk about what they were doing in the Walcott Hotel. The Spanish Army, the Laundry Army, whatever those guys are, they don't want to talk about what they're doing. Yeah, there's another guy with a mask on. There's a network rolling around here. Very sketchy. There's a Rivian, another vehicle you'd be crazy to buy. I'm not going to do that, Nate. There's a lot of words I know how to say in Espanol, but that's just going to start a fight. Unbelievable. So I don't know, we got a lot of people still rolling around who look to me like they shouldn't be here. We'll just check on the Walcott. I mean, I think they still have people staying in these hotels. I guess Kristi Noem is working as quickly as she can, but why don't they just send a team to New York and clear out all these hotels? Now, what they got to do is not just arrest the people in the hotels. It's like, who made all the money from this? I mean, it almost makes you wonder if they're not just wanting to drive all this illegal migration so they can get their money and not care about it. I mean, when you think about it, these guys standing in the doorway, not those guys, but like the American guys, the black guys up at the security door there at the Roosevelt, who always are like, what? Huh? No matter what you ask them, they don't have an answer. I mean, I'm sure they're like, you know, illegal migrants in the hotel, I don't care, I'm getting my $20 an hour or whatever it is. You know, they just want to get paid and get their money and not care how society is harmed. Seems like a lot of people are willing to do that, and the larger the amount of money, the more they don't care. So those guys are just dealing in normal stolen electronics inside that store probably. So there's something new happening. That line of people, and they're crying and hugging each other. Obviously, people are getting sent back, but you know, I don't really know. Is this not the ugliest thing? Porsche, what is it? Panamera. 31st is the Walcott, right? Yeah. I think it's right over here. I mean, I think they've basically cleared it out. It seems like the last several times I've been here, it's been a marked difference compared to every previous time that I was here. This street was just teeming with activity previously. And now it's just virtually dead. Yeah, there we go. It's the entrance. Just nobody over here. No army. Wait a minute. See, that's interesting. I got a full signal and it just tried to knock me off. So is that somebody doing something? That does look like the guy who works at the hotel who we've seen before, doesn't it? And there's a little kid on the phone. And now I'm getting knocked off again even though I have full signal. It's weird. Who could be doing that? Attempting to knock me off. Isn't this a strange place for this guy to stand and just be on the phone? It's very strange. And even though I have full signal, the thing keeps... Keeps almost getting knocked off. So who's that? What the fuck are you doing? There is something weird going on here. What can I do for you, sir?
How can I help you?
I'm just standing here. Why are you coming over
Why
here?
are you videoing me?
Huh?
Why are you videoing me?
I'm just videoing the street. Why are you coming over here to threaten me?
Threat you?
Huh?
You're not even a threat.
Why did you come over here? So there's something going on. That guy's going right in the hotel. Isn't that interesting?
I mean,
Have they knocked me off? Maybe. Pretty bold that guy was just going to come right over here and get in my face. They're obviously doing something they don't want people knowing about. So this guy's still here. Guy seems really uneasy to be recorded by me. So we still got something going on here at the Walcott Hotel. And I think it still involves the police. Who else has all that wonderful technology to try to knock me off the internet? Now that guy is going into the hotel. What is going on? guy's up to something. All of these guys are up to something. What are you guys up to? How's it going? What is this guy looking at? It's amazing. There's a lot of need to recover the broadcast over here, even though I've got full signal. There's still something going on at the Walcott Hotel. I still don't know what it is. But that's very unusual that people outside a hotel would even notice me or care what I'm doing there. Is this the guy who was trying to look at me? Yeah, it was. Who is that guy? Interesting. Really interesting. I wonder if I would have been knocked off without the link aggregator. I don't know. What do people think about that? Was that normal? Am I still live streaming there? Sorry if that got rough. I realize. New hiring. Oh, now hiring signs. I didn't notice that. Yeah, sorry about the buffering. I mean, that's obviously something going on over there at the hotel. It's been full stream, full bars here. I have 4 5G plus bars on the main phone, and plus all the link aggregation stuff. So I don't really know. Yeah, anyway, if people get annoyed by the buffering on YouTube or other platforms, you can always watch the playback on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, even if you aren't a member and paying as little as $3 a month to support the show and to access the sponsor exclusive content. Even for free, you're going to get access to the largest library of Crowdsource the Truth content anywhere on the internet. And anytime there's buffering like this during a video, I can repair it after the show ends. So I don't know what to make of the Walcott Hotel, but it seems like anytime I go over there, in about 5 minutes, I'm able to identify what looks like criminal activity. I think if I had Christy Nome and a bunch of ICE agents and federal law enforcement people with me, maybe there would be a better outcome over there, but I don't know. Anyway, that's sort of it. I just wanted to check on those hotels, see what's going on. We saw the Stewart is a wreck. Walcott still seems to be a haunt for criminals. That guy's bold, coming right over to me, huh? And again, if I didn't have a camera, that guy would have behaved much differently. His mind is calculating quite quickly. If I beat the crap out of this guy, he's already got my face on video. It's probably going live. Even if I kill him and break his camera, somebody's going to be able to find me, so he just chooses to leave. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please become a sponsor. It's still as little as $3 a month. You can use your regular credit card until the end of February, and then it's going to switch over to some new system that I don't yet know the details of, but odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth is where you can do that. crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com and subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great day.